name is Kate. I own Red House Farm here in Bunker Hill, West Virginia. We bought it about 3 years ago, but this is our first year producing vegetables and poultry and eggs for the community. I sell at the Charlestown Farmers Market. I also allow on-farm pickup. We have about 150 or 160 meat chickens that we're processing this month for meat. And we have 4 meat ducks for breeding. We just added them this year, so next year we're going to offer small amounts of duck. And then we have probably about 50 or 60 layers. And we have 19 egg ducks, khaki Campbell, so they lay eggs. And we have 13 breeding turkeys. And this year they made probably about 150 turkeys. So we sold them as poults when they were little, just to people who wanted to raise their own turkey, and we kept back 50 to sell for Thanksgiving. So our back pasture is about 5 acres, and we like to have our birds free range. What our plan is to have them more mobile. So we bought a hollowed out tent camper that we're going to turn into a mobile egg coop this winter. The goal will be to be able to move them more easily around the farm. Birds are really good at fertilizing the grass, but if you keep them on too long, they kill the grass. So the goal is to move them every week just to a new spot so that they can fertilize it and not kill it. So we have a coop for our layers, and we built nesting boxes in there, and we also have roosts. We do not use fake lights for our chickens, so right now they've definitely slowed down in their laying. That's normal and natural. When there's less sunlight, they lay less. And come February, they'll start laying a lot more depending on the weather. If it's too cold, they won't. And so we keep them out on pasture. We let everybody out in the morning. They all free range together. We do keep our breeder turkeys apart during breeding season because they can get a little rough, and they can be rough on the ducks and rough on the chickens. My ducks also free range, and ducks are different from chickens. Chickens will lay all day up until about 4:30 or something. Ducks lay in a specific time period, so we don't let them out until after 10 a.m. from their pen, because then they'll just lay all over the field and we'll never know how fresh the eggs are. So we keep them in their pen until about 10 a.m. and then they're out, and then we herd them back every night back in just to keep them safe and to keep the eggs in one spot. And we're on the 1,000 bird exemption, which means we can raise and process up to 1,000 birds here on the farm. The end of this year we'll hit about 350 that we have raised and processed for other people. And then we've got probably about 50 of those that we've raised for ourselves. We process them outside, and I do it myself. And everything is out in the open air with a canopy, and we keep it really clean. We're registered with the state. It's not required, but we did do it. And the only thing that we really have to do, there's certain qualifications you have to meet to be under the 1,000 bird exemption, and that is, a lot of it has to do with labeling. So how you label your bird, it has to have like our name and address and the weight, and you know, it's a raw poultry product, so please don't leave it out on the counter all day. And we have to keep track of who we sell it to. When I bought this place, I had raised chickens for about 10 years. But I had never had, you know, we have almost 20 acres here, and this was me trying to figure out what works on pasture and what doesn't work. You can read as much as you want, but really, it really depends on the farmer and the area and what works for your family. So I have experimented a lot, like letting everybody mingle together, which isn't always good. So sometimes we have to keep them separate. Also, sometimes we move their coops and where they live, and learning how to do that so they know where they live. My husband moved the chicken coop once in the morning, and so all of our chickens went back to the old place, and it took us hours to round up 50, 60 chickens to get them to go back into the new spot in their old coop. It can be frustrating when you're trying to experiment and when you're learning, but when you figure something out, It feels really good.